I was curious if maybe that was a part of the reason behind it, but we got the manly man.
Axe, I wonder. I mean, normally you like something paired up with the axe. I'm not sure if Chen 4 is really what you're looking for in that.
Chen creeps are okay. Get the
Maybe.
harpy or something, but
Yeah.
Ooh.
Harpy plus Battle Hunger spam.
yeah.
That could definitely create some hell. EHOME.
Drafting very fast, not using any of the reserve time, just like trying to put some pressure on Liquid, it feels like.
They seem angry. They seem angry after that last game. Are you guys really going to pick Brood against us? You think this is a major?
I mean, it seems like these are probably heroes they already had in mind, right?
Yeah.
Like, you pick up the Void, you're already thinking long-term about Ancient Apparition, and then when you already see the Celestial, you're probably thinking, I want some sort of burst damage core that's going to come in. You know, Tiny's been one of the
BKB threaten
go-to.
on him and everything.
Yeah.
I mean, I hope that they pick a 4, as you were saying, that pairs better with the Chen. Like, I'd rather see that Skywrath Mage or something. Maybe not necessarily this game. Sky doesn't look particularly great. Taiga Dark Willow would be all right here, I think.
I feel like you need some more save now, though, too, right? Like SD or even going back for the Venge again. Like something to deal with Chrono.
Well, they have to do the double pick here, so theoretically, if they just wanted to do a Naga game, they could also do that.
Ooh.
The last time Insania played Chen was 6 months ago.
Hmm.
So, not really the hero that he's been playing of late, but he can't play it.
Publicly, you know,
True.
scrims. Hopefully, they've been playing a lot of those. I mean, you have to assume he has played a Chen in a scrim game.
Oh, yeah.
That
He's
would be,
yeah.
So they will take a 1, but not Naga, the CK instead. Big, beefy boy.
So is this Lesh support that we're thinking right now? Or
Assume mid.
or that
Yeah.
assume mid?
Yeah,
Okay.
I would
Assume mid and then a weird 4 position if you're trying to get a really clutch mid surprise pick.
Yeah.
But
No.
I feel like Leshrac 4 is just not that good right now.
Not a fan. It just feels there's like better heroes. I guess
Yeah.
you can argue, well, we had the versatility, so that's why I picked it early, so maybe, but
It's just such a good hero, you want that farm priority on it.
It's
Yeah.
just really weird to see all 3 cores picked before the last pick and then take like that
Well,
4 with the last, right?
well, they're doing the double though, right? So
Yeah.
like,
oh
it doesn't
yeah, I guess
really
that makes sense. That's a
matter.
good point. Yeah.
Yeah.
You have first pick, you're like, why not pick your mid early? You know,
Yeah.
because it's like you're gonna get counterpicked at some point in time. They have second picks, so.
What would you ban if you're EHOME though? Is there anything that's like really funky that's worth it? Or like, I guess you just ban Shadow Demon maybe. You're like,
think
just ban a
just
saving 5, screw it. They will ban the Willow instead. Okay, that Taiga classic. I do think it would have been good.
I think I'd be more worried about SD though.
Actually, this is such a brain dead Chen game for a 5. They should make this a Chen 5. Like,
Yeah.
literally the heal with the CK heal. Like, he's
Yeah,
gonna
that's
like
true.
just stand next to CK. And
Oh,
then
yeah.
You're
Yeah.
doing so much work.
Well, then I would be down for Sky, right? The Battle Hunger plus
Yeah, just the
Skywrath,
spam.
that constant harassment on the Void. You've got a very solid disable against the Void as well.
I feel like banning that also kind of shows that fear that EHOME have.
Maybe you want a better. I guess you have enough initiation, maybe, out of just Axe and Chaos Knight starting fights for you.
You're up a game. Go Tusk King. Can't pull people out
Hey.
of Black or out of Chrono.
You could shards the void away from him in the Chrono maybe. Well, it doesn't matter. It's like it's all the other damage that's really scary.
No, yeah, I don't like Tusk here.
That's terrible.
Take the Sky or take the SD. Hell, I don't even care if it's a Taiga SD. It's more just spam.
I think that SD4 is really cool. Get some items on that boy, and he's a tough one.
It is the Sky. All right, let's go.
Hey.
So what do we do to get? Well,
Oh
jeez.
my God, jeez. All
All
right.
right. Not even. You can't
No.
put more pressure on Team Liquid. They've already drafted their full lineup,
I
but they
think
still snap
I
pick
would
the
not
DK.
have come up with DK. I
They
don't know
used
about you
3
guys.
seconds of reserve time in that whole draft, I think, for eHome. Only 3 seconds, I'm pretty sure.
I would not have thought of DK in this instance.
Well, we've seen a number of DK picks against these Chaos Knights,
Yeah.
right? So I think it's something that it pairs up pretty well with Ancient Apparition.
I think it's just the Dragon Tail opening too. Like get double bracer, blink, run around the map, BKB, try and end the game.
I assume it's like the breathe fire that you're trying to use, right? Is that the whole goal, to like ruin the CK's time? Trying to like give a bunch of damage reduction?
Yeah,
is
damage
that the big
reduction. I
point?
mean, you're not a hero that can really be gone on very easily because you have high armor, you have splash damage as well.
I don't particularly like EHOME's foursome here of like DK, AA, Rubik, Tiny with like Void farming away. I feel like Faded's a little bit of an isolated carry player. Like he doesn't tend to join maybe as often as other carries.
So
Yeah.
for you think if EHOME are going to succeed with this lineup, they need like Faith Beyond to have a really good start.
He needs to have a super good set. Like he needs an Ags game, right? Like he needs to be a very high damage dealer during the Chronosphere because they've committed for this Dragon Knight. And I just don't like the mid game of like, is DK gonna go like Shadow Blade and they're gonna try and like make these plays around the map, or is he just gonna go like all out push and it's all on Faith Beyond with this like blink?
Who's the pipe builder as well? That's
Right.
a question
Yeah.
for me with EHOME when you already know you have this mid Leshrac. Trent, does that mean you're going to be leaning towards Liquid?
Yeah, I like the CK lane. I like the Axe lane. I don't like AA as this like 5 that has to help someone like that. So yeah, I'll take Liquid again.
I think I always think that Faith Beyond's going to just like have a great time, so they take that for granted. So for me, the big question is, can 897 get off to a good start? And if he does, I think they win. And I believe in him. Let's go, EHOME.
There you go.
All
Hop
right,
off
will
the
this
fence.
be a game 3? We'll have to find out. Going to our casters, OD Pixel and Gods.
Thank you very much, Cap. Yeah, looking forward to this one. There's no Spider, no Brood, of course, taken out towards the start of things. So
Yep.
Liquid are going to have to win in a bit of a different fashion if they want to find that 2-0 here. But there's the big old hero for EHOME, right? They have got that Void. They've got pretty good follow-up to the Chrono. What are you reckoning, Parker, looking at this one? Do you think this is going to be a bit of a tougher one for Liquid?
Some ways, I think it's going to be a really tough one for VT Faded. He had a game last game where he got to free farm and try and carry the game as Sven. A very hard task in itself because you're playing Sven. This time, he's on the hero that can carry games, but he's not going to get the free farm he did last game. And Axe Skywrath lane, one of the kind of old school dual harass lanes that Void just hates to play against. It's damage over time with the Axe Battle Hunger. You can kind of time walk off the Arcane Bolts, but this is just going to be a nightmare for him, I feel.
And we saw, obviously, at the end of the draft, that very sort of snap pick from EHOME with the final pick, DK. I saw with what the panel said, just sort of agree across the board, this hero, sort of regardless of what Liquid would have picked last, was always going to be a solid choice for EHOME.
Yeah, I quite like the DK here. It's a hero that does pair very well with the AA, like as a setup for the Ice Blast. I think likely we'll see some kind of Blink Dagger at some point in his item build and just be kind of a playmaker. But at the same time, it's not going to match up well against the Leshrac's magic damage, necessarily. But it has also been one of the heroes we've seen used as like a answer to the CK, and fairly effectively.
And sort of in that way as well, do you imagine we are going to see the DK look to play fast, go for sort of that double bracer blink build?
Yep, double bracer into something. I guess maybe there's an item before the blink. Not sure what that would be, like a drums type item or whatever. Maybe he's already got double bracer queued up, so no surprises there. But yeah, just getting your braces as early as possible, and then you can kind of figure out how the game's going.
See at the moment, 897 doing his best to duke out the stuns of quite firm.
Yep.
Pretty much even in farm. As you said, definitely the bottom lane where, especially on those early levels, Fade just has to be careful. The long cooldown on that time walk, meaning that there's a huge windows for Liquid to lay down the harass onto the safe lane Void.
Yeah, he's only gotten 3 last hits so far in this lane. And he started with the Magic Stick, not the Quelling Blade, which is partly why. But you've kind of just got to do this against all this harass. And the Time Walk has lots of regen still unfaded, but the issue is he's using regen but not getting last hits right now.
Top lane, a toss back there onto mid game. And that looked
very
like
close.
it should have been a kill there. Faith Beyond, I think he could have got another hit in. But sort of went for a bit of a move around the trees. I guess maybe just lost vision. But not quite finishing that one off.
I think he gets himself an Arcane Rune, but he's very low in health and mana. And Innocence has read this. He's actually going to intercept Tiger and should be going to be close to a first blood. Oh, just enough damage for the kill. He figured out exactly where he's going to run. He knew that he was probably running for that tier 2 tower to go for the suicide.
I mean,
That was
It's
really...
getting out solo, you know, that's a lot of money.
Yep.
Those sort of kills out of 448 gold for the AA. It's certainly going to be appreciated as well by good old Faded in that safe lane, knowing that his support's going to have that little bit of extra power and to keep that safe lane a little safer for the Void.
I think Void's just happy. He's probably telling him, like, buy some extra regen for us down bottom, please. I need more Tango salves, whatever it is. Because just the 10 last hits so far for VT Faded.
Still just that grim part of the game for the Void.
Yeah.
Obviously, once he has a few points in the time walk, that's when he can sort of really outdo a large amount of the harass that Tiger's going to be looking to offer. But until that point, Faded has to be very, very careful, as Tiger will be able to consistently keep him low HP.
Very tough lane to contest up top. Mickey, they didn't get that kill, unfortunately, and all the extra regen coming in from the Chen. The Divine Favor with the Chaos Strike just enabling Mickey to sustain himself so well up here, and he is top of the CS strats.
It's, yes, you said it. With that aura, it's, I mean, you can't harass him. You cannot get the CK down low. He is, as long as he can hit a creep or hit a hero, he's going to be pretty much fulled up to max each and every time.
Yeah, the second point almost doubles the lifesteal as well of the crit, so it's good stuff.
The best they can do really is you try and use that Fade Bolt to tone down his right click a bit and try and mess with the CS, but even then, CK with that Quelling Blade hitting close to 100 damage won't have, or at least shouldn't have any trouble getting the farm.
In the mid lane, Koika found a DD rune with his bottle, so gets to refill his bottle, but most importantly has a double damage now to continue, well, kind of catch up on CS. DK has actually had the better of this lane so far. That's at least small positive for this EHOME laning stage.
Yeah, when Faded, when he has got the 6, they're going to sort of rely on the 6 really from the AA. I wouldn't say there's a massive amount of follow-up early on really to sort of throw damage into the Chronosphere. It's going to be later on where you really sort of see the team coordination and opportunities come into place to get those kills. It's going to be probably quite a slow game overall from EHOME.
Yep. Bounty rune's coming up, and it looks like EHOME will snag 3 of the 4. Actually, sorry, only 2 of the 4. Faith Beyond managed to get both top ones for his team, and then both bottom going Liquid's way.
So just trying to do his best with the micro there to get as much out as he could.
Tiger plants a ward mid, but it gets scouted. There's already a sentry there. Both teams now know these wards are here, and unfortunately for EHOME, Liquid will get the better of the D ward battle. They had the numbers and managed to bully them away, but EHOME did see the Observer ward.
Of course, with the way that the lane was set up down bottom, items are going to fly in for Boxy. Before the 6-minute mark, that Vanguard is done for him.
Yep.
So already sort of gearing up to be this offlaner as well. That's always very important to have against a Void, that you leave him down here, even when the 6 is there, there's just no way that any sort of chrono will ever threaten Boxy for quite some time this game. He's just going to be so tanky so early on with the 6-minute Vanguard.
Yeah, I love how he's gone for this kind of greedy build too. Didn't get boots, didn't level Berserker's Call. He's just looking to farm and use the second point in Battle Hunger to get extra harass on Void to bully him out of this lane. So knows that he's just going to have a better laning stage if he can just skip the boots, get the faster Vanguard, and absolutely crushing it so far. 3 heroes topping net worth all on the Dire side so far.
See top, A97, he's going to be the first to make the moves as he leads in with the help of Faith Beyond and White onto Mickey. Mickey's not got any help around him. A great move from the Dragon Knight, and a move that could warrant a good amount of damage onto this tier 1. He's got a lot of the duration left on the Elder Dragon form. And this is going to be a push that, of course, on his own, Insania cannot do anything about, so they're just going to have to accept these hard hits. Boxy has moved himself over to the top half of the map to make sure they secure this stack before EHOME themselves get a look in.
Oh, and another D-Ward as well. They're just dominating this vision battle. Quake for mid. 4 points in Edict in the trees, trying to cheese down this tower. Classic Leshrac things. But he's going to get pulled back. TPing from DK. Still has a range form.
Still got a bit of time left on that, but not quite enough damage. Y will be in as well. Tiger with that concussive shot does slow down 897 enough to make sure the Quakefer can walk away before the rest of the backup comes in.
Yeah, he's A-okay, and this laning stage being crushed by Liquid. 0 kills, 0 cares. They are up 2k gold.
I mean, look, yeah, all 3 of their cores, not only ahead, but sizably ahead. You look at those individual net worths on the left of your screen, and it's, you know, those bars, they're not close for 7 minutes in.
No. Axe is 1,500 net worth ahead of the Void, or the Tiny if you compare his counterpart in the off lane. Only the mid lane is slightly close, and that is still being fairly convincingly won by Quakefer.
This is, I think, one of the biggest sort of lane wins across the board that we've seen so far at MDL.
Quakefer's coming back for round 2 mid on the tower. Edict in the trees. Good stuff. Often goes unnoticed.
Yeah, it's such an early, at 8 minutes in.
It's one of those really difficult to notice things because you don't get those little pop-ups on your screen with it, and that's just the tower claimed. That was like a 2/3 health tower just destroyed.
This start could not have gone any better for Liquid.
Yeah, Boxy with an ancient stack to fall back on. Absolutely fantastic stuff.
See EHOME try and kick back a little bit in the mid lane with the second use of the Elder Dragon form.
EHOME didn't even pressure top tower much with that DK rotation because the Axe showed up to the lane.
Well, how much damage did they get? Any damage?
They got it. Not even half.
No,
they did some, but really, like, if you make that move, you want to get the kill and a tower. They had a siege creep and everything, but Axe recognized that, and he went all the way top just to hurt. I mean, did he really hurt his own farm? It doesn't look like it. He had a stack there waiting for him, so it kind of was a nice move regardless.
Yeah, Boxy's just being 1,400 towards a blink on top of this Boots Vanguard.
Yeah.
This is one of the best starts we've seen an Axe have hit.
It's one of those things where it's hard to tell how much EHOME feel they're behind right now because they seem content just to kind of keep playing the lanes, get their next few items up, but they are being demolished in a big, big way here. Quakefer already with the Boots of Travel queued up. He's only 900 gold away. Bounty Rune's coming up. This is where I feel like EHOME have to make their mark and win a fight.
They've got to group up and make sure
ward.
they outnumber someone, and they'll drop a chrono. Do they have the damage to do this? They should with the 3 of them. Drag back into the Avalanche. They definitely needed that EHOME, and they will get it. And in terms of the rest of the Bounty Runes across the map, it's going to be balanced with the rest of the 3 do still all go the way of Liquid. But that's, you know, definitely better than losing all 4. They get something.
Hey, they got a kill too, so they got 1 rune and a kill. You'd say it's one of the bigger kills they can get. They kill a core. At this stage, you take what you can get. That was just Quakefer being you're trying to be greedy because you know if one of you dies somewhere on the map, you're still getting a favorable trade. You still get 3 out of 4 bounty runes, and unfortunately for Quakefer, there was an observer was scouting out his move there because he was playing that one fairly cautiously.
And this sort of early lead, like 4K at 10 minutes, when you look at the lineups, like, is this something that you expect? How surprising is this? Like, EHOME's lineup, is there a reason why they would struggle this much early on?
I'm not surprised because of how good these 2 side lanes are. The Chen CK synergy is really good with the lifesteal from the CK amplified by Chen, and then the Axe Skywrath dual lane destroys Void. So I expected Liquid to come out on top of this lane stage, and they've done it without kills. Their laning dominance isn't about getting kills, it's just about winning any trades.
See here, an attempt to be made onto White. Quakefer will get him. They do get the Ice Blast out.
No follow-up though, it looks like. Yeah, EHOME just have to kind of use, I would say use Chronosphere off cooldown with your team and use DK's Dragon Form off cooldown as well. Like, they need kills and towers wherever possible.
Pian won't get the kill. Tiger saved up by his buddy Insania. So this 5k lead. Boxy, that Blink Dagger is on its way out to him.
Yep. Didn't complete the phase boots in the end. Just happy with the chainmail. But that could catch VT Faded by surprise up here.
Yeah, if they can get this call on him whilst he's in the wave.
Yeah, Mickey's waiting for it.
A few good spins, and with the stun from Mickey, should be enough lockdown, but Faded's playing it careful.
He sensed it. He backed off just in time. He did time walk to lane, though. But the follow-up is a bit far away, it seems.
Is he going to go greedy?
Oh, he is.
He's not.
No, Boxy's keeping mid, though, to defend. They have other ideas.
See if they can make the jump here. Jump in onto the DK at the same time. Faith Beyond will collapse onto Asenio on the back of it all. It won't quite be able to kill 897 off it immediately, or maybe with that follow-up stun they can quite, but finds the connection. There's the dunk down from Boxy, and here comes Mickey as well. Coming in with a Phantasm will clean up the AA.
A lot of item revealed. Faith Beyond also just happened to have a Blink Dagger, and Leshrac just got Boots of Travel. Well,
Faith Beyond, he's blinking in aggressively here towards Tiger. Boxy's still around. If Boxy can get back in, the blink's off cooldown. He's in. He gets the connection. Mystic Flare's down. They'll pick up Faith Beyond as well.
This game...
It's a 7k lead now for Liquid at 13 minutes in.
Yeah, and speaking of 7k, that's how much net worth Axe has when the highest on Radiant is 4.7. Like, this Boxy game has been absolutely insane. Leshrac with Boots of Travel now can play the entire map. He can be greedy, farm, push lanes, and then also Boots of Travel in to back up an Axe Blink call. So it's so difficult for EHOME to play when there's an Axe with Blink Dagger this fast and Leshrac with Boots of Travel.
They are, they're destroying this so far, Liquid. This is, without a doubt, one of the best showings we've seen from this new Liquid in terms of the coming out the laning stage. Like, just EHOME severely struggling to make anything happen. As you say, their best bet is to do something around the chrono, but as we were saying earlier, it's not really a lineup that guarantees you chrono kills early on. Sure, down the line when the DK's got his items, he's ready to go with the Elder Dragon form and actually having a bit of a punch, and the AA's got a leveled up Ice Blast, you can sort of go for those kills confidently on course, but until then, even if you get a chrono down, the time it takes to get a kill will be enough time for Liquid to come in and take the fight after the chrono ends.
Yeah, they're so mobile as well. Like, even there, Chen pulls the Axe top, looking for a gank on the Void. They don't find it, but if VT Fade had pushed one more creep wave, he gets caught by an Axe call, Leshrac Boots of Travel in. There's just so many ways for them to set up for these kills with all this global presence and the recall capabilities that it's so dangerous. EHOME just can't play lanes. Often when you're behind 7k gold, you want to try and split push, but you can't split push when you're against the kind of pickoff that Liquid have on their side.
Yeah, you're just seeing some of these heroes on Liquid just getting to borderline unkillable. You know, Boxy, as you mentioned, with his farm, he's got a completed hood done on top of the Vanguard. Like, this Axe will not die. You're going to need 5 heroes and the Axe to be entirely alone for like 20 seconds if you want to kill him. He's going to be able to run away. He's incredibly tanky for this early on in the game. There's
a DK Blink Dagger now, so both Blinks on EHOME, and they have to use these because they're not going to scale well. Like, when you go all in on these fast Blink Daggers on multiple heroes that don't have good farming, it means if you don't get kills now, you're going to fall behind because Liquid are content to just play a farming game at this stage. They've got CK, who's just farming up the jungle, Leshrac, who can farm, push all the lanes with Boots of Travel. Liquid's going to destroy you in a farm war, so you have to get kills.
So that
DK's Blink has been scouted, though.
Yeah, there was a bit of an attempt to get that wraparound. Boxy was coming in from the jungle, but 897 able to play it safe. Very much EHOME just having to tiptoe around Liquid right now.
They pull in the Axe and smoke up immediately.
See what they can get. Boxy still want to lead in. Actually, 897's going to look to come in with the Dragon Tail. Make sure the Boxy can't get the jump in. Look at the Ice Blast down. Boxy pops the call, but the cold feeds procs in here. They should have him here. They do. I thought he would be unkillable, but with the 5 of them, they show me wrong. EHOME take down Boxy after a whiffed initiation. Very quick fingers there from 897 to make sure that he was the one to start the fight and that Boxy didn't get a chance to lead in.
Yep. Good call from them. Bottom lane, Koikva now being punished for his greed. And suddenly, signs of life for EHOME. I was about to say it was... The one really impressive part about that at the start for Liquid is the fact they just ditched the Axe. Like, that was going to be a really bad fight for them. 5 EHOME heroes ready to go with Chronosphere, and the second the Axe gets Blink stunned, they ditch him. But Leshrac gets caught bottom, and suddenly it really isn't as clean of an exit as Liquid were hoping for.
They've got to be careful, Liquid. Having a 7k lead this early on, to then let that slip away a little bit, that's not a great sign for the team. They've got to get their things together. They have such a sizable lead early on. If they lose heroes like this, you got to ask yourself, what are they doing? They've got such an advantage, and core to core deaths. They've got to get it to keep it together, Liquid.
Yep. Still, like you say, very sizable advantage, one that they can maintain just through farm war. If they can just keep tabs of where these Radiant heroes are on the map and avoid some of these rotations, they're in a good spot. But always have to respect what the Void can do. This has been one of the kind of top meta carries leading up to this tournament for a reason. But I feel like we're also starting to see why this hero may be a little bit overrated as far as teams prioritizing it, because if it has a bad lane, and there are a lot of bad lanes for Void, you can really struggle in the lanes.
The move here from EHOME, you can see the three of them on the hunt for some action up top, with their eyes set towards Tiger, and they'll for the jump in. Ice Blast is actually going to miss, should not matter though. Tiger incredibly squishes the Skyrath, and another pickoff made by EHOME as Liquid are getting caught out sort of one by one and split up across the map.
Right, those are the kind of pickoffs that you don't mind as much if you're Liquid, because it's a support, your cores are farming elsewhere on the map. Skyrath, I believe, spent all his money to buy that Rod of Atos, so didn't even really lose any gold, so. And he's so deep on the map. He's pushed near an enemy tier 1 tower, so EHOME can't even turn that pick into any kind of an objective, so not a meaningful kill for either team.
Full mech done now for Insania.
Nice Ice Blast flying over, getting some good information as to what's going on, and Boxy can't quite find any picks here. Liquid really need some vision up if they want to find kills in this area of the map, and that's a big part of why they're trying to make this move in here, is just to get map control. They've claimed the one Radiant jungle, they want to claim the other now. I feel very confident about their ability to take a fight, or to try and set themselves up to secure a Roshan.
Faded. Closing in on that BKB.
Oh, this is a cool move. I think EHOME might think they're going to go for a Roshan. Instead, they de-ward and then smoke up. Oh,
Here they get the jump on White.
He popped that smoke, and that may have just saved a lot of lives, or potentially a kill into a Roshan type play.
Yeah, they didn't want to jump on him, being the support and being as close as he was to
897
tower.
top. Blink call.
See if they can finish him off here. Quackford's brought in as well as Tiger.
That's not a place you can be farming when you're playing against an Axe. He just TPs and gets a blink call. That's like the most simple of simple plays. Boots of travel, Leshrac follow up. You can push a lane, but not next to an enemy tower.
Liquid, as soon as they get that pick off, straight back over towards the rest of EHOME.
Yep.
Looking at Roche here, they're going to go for the Roshan. DK's back up at 10, popping the Phantasm as well to help try and speed this up. Not necessarily the quickest of Roches with their lineup. And with an Ice Blast coming, I don't know, Liquid can really do this. It's a little risky. They don't have that incredible Roshan taking hero, and EHOME, they have a Chrono. They've got an Ice Blast, as you saw there. It's not easy for Liquid to try and sneak this. So they've come outside of the pit now. Chrono is going to be used just onto Boxy. See if they can actually get the kill off. There's going to be the silence lockdown onto the Void. Faded has to be careful. They only bring Boxy down to half HP. And now the rest of Liquid's turned up and ready to force EHOME back. Xin-Q falling low. Drag back from Mickey. Grabs out the Tiny. They'll get the kill on the Rubik. Jumping from Boxy. They have the chain control to find another. And that was a bit of an ambitious Chrono from Faded, just dropping it solely onto the Axe when they knew. They just seen with the Ice Blast. Liquid was all around there. It wasn't as if like you were just catching that Axe off miles away from the teammates.
Yeah. And there was no Ice Blast to follow it up because it was on cooldown, which Liquid also knew. So the follow-up damage was
yeah, now they have a Chrono to contest this. So Liquid are like, all right, well, we'll go back to Roche. So.
And that follow-up damage from a Tiny is insignificant when the Chen Hills come into play with the mech. They even had Hand of God, I believe. So they weren't even close, really, to killing Axe there.
They've got to be careful. Now, Faded, he's got to really think about the Chrono usages. They are still very far behind. 6k down, now an Aegis up on Liquid. The Chronos, each and every one of them, has to count. Just going for an Axe like that in front of the rest of his teammates, it's always going to be a incredibly risky play. Now Liquid ready to get things back on track. BKB is done on the Dragon Knight.
It's so hard for EHOME. They have major damage issues right now. The quad stacking Cloak Aura on the Chen creeps means most of their damage is just being mitigated by this. The Tiny combo, the DK Breath Fire, the Fade Bolt, the AA. Faded. Time walked in. They know he's in here.
There's the first stun. And he's gone. He's dead. They've lost the Void.
Yeah.
I mean, EHOME looking a bit lost and unsure what to do.
Yeah, it was sort of that little portion where Liquid were a little all over the place, but they've tightened it back up.
Oh, even this is not a good look. Unfortunately, Boxy just a little bit too far for the blink call. It's still going to be, should be a tier 1 mid tower denied, but DK's 10-second BKB used just to save his life.
There we go. Another tier 2 to be taken.
Boxy just confidently looking around mid for a kill. Can't really get a solo kill, but that Leshrac does have the boots of travel, of course. And it really is just about putting fear in EHOME's hearts.
EHOME there for Chrono is back up. They cannot whiff these Chrono opportunities. It's pretty much their only way to guarantee kills unless they do find Liquid's members out alone. It's got the Maelstrom and BKB both pretty much done now. Just recipes just about to be picked up by Faded. So again, helping with the survivability means they can stay on a target even if a Mystic Flare does come raining down on him. But obviously damage is still an issue and something that's going to take EHOME's lineup a fair bit more time, at least an item extra or two on their cores, until they can really feel confident going for these big kills.
And this is the downside of rushing these two Blink Daggers. EHOME kind of had to take over the game when they got their Blink on DK and Tiny, because neither of those heroes have been really keeping up that much in farm. DK's done alright, having the ability to like clear waves really quickly and use his ultimate to farm Ancients, for example, has at least allowed him to kind of keep up a little bit, but that's not looking like enough right now.
25 minutes in, EHOME. Looks like they will just grab themselves the one rune again, Liquid, with the map control they have.
Oh, they want to fight down bottom though. Liquid a little bit late to grab the bounty rune or to find a fight right away, but Boxy's still hunting.
Gets the grab. He's able to find 897, trying to hide in the trees. The flare is down. He'll pop the BKB. Dragon Tail stun to hold back the axe. He'll look to back off. They'll try and chase on. Faded, having to time walk away. Still gets caught out by the stun. Oh, BKB himself, he's turning, looking for an opportunity to help out fight. Trying for a chrono. He's going to pop it. Does catch only Boxy there on the tip. Boxy, will he even die? He doesn't. He gets the call off. Faded's going to be the one to fall. Liquid, they don't lose anyone. And again, it's another opportunity whiffed there by EHOME. Faded dropping the chrono. Nothing good comes from it for EHOME. Liquid able to run them over once again. It's a 10k lead now. Liquid's ready to push towards the base. There's no chrono, there's no void for 30 seconds. There's nothing for Liquid to be scared of.
I don't think there's any answers to Liquid's draft right now. They may have taken out Quake for Aegis, but he's still feeling pretty safe in the front lines. Has to be a little bit careful with the AA Ice Blast coming back into play now. But Liquid, they want to stick around a little bit longer. CK on the front lines, 4k health. Even if he gets Ice Blast and loses his heart regen, he probably doesn't care too much.
A bit of a poke, but stacking stuns on Mickey there. Not going to do much at all. Avalanche to guarantee the proc on the cold feet. But yeah, with the amount of stats that Mickey has so early on, just 26 minutes in, this heart, treads, brace, drums, 4k HP. You are not killing this Chaos Knight.
Now Boxy has a Shadow Blade, so a lot of initiation potential here. Void at bottom, he's going to farm a wave. Oh no, Faded.
Once again, off the map. It's been a tough game from Faded for the entirety of it. He did have a hard lane, but since then, he has just struggled to get himself back in the game.
It's been a tough game for all of EHOME, really, when you lose all three lanes this badly. And it's just, like, they were down 2 kills to nothing, but very much a Liquid controlled early game and a really well put together draft. Faithian is going to be found here. Has a blink still. Boxy.
Faithian, good quick reactions there. We'll be able to set up for the toss back. They jump in with the Dragon Tail stun. Blade Mail is already out by Boxy. They're focusing on Faithian. Faithian will get himself away, but no, he won't. Hoikfoot's moving in with the BKB, just charging through them all. Faithian falls. They've lost 3. They will kill Boxy. There'll be triple buybacks coming out from EHOME. Faded. Get the 2 here with the Chrono. Can they finish these kills up? They're focusing down mid-care. Hannah got a heal, comes out. They'll get the Phantasm out to play, and he's actually turning. Faded has to time walk away. Mid-care now drags in the DK, but still EHOME, they're trying their best to make the most out of these 3 buybacks. They get mid-care. Can they get more? The Dragon Knight falling low. The magical damage will be enough from Tiger as he kills off 897. Instead he goes for the TPR, but the bash is there. Faded will get another, and that's 4 dead on Liquid. They had to use 3 buybacks for it, but definitely worth there for EHOME as they're finally able to sort of put a dent into Liquid. They get the kills.
Much needed action that, you know, it's a confidence booster in some ways. Even when you have to use triple buybacks, it just at least makes you feel good that you've held your own, won a fight, try and get those next couple of items up. It's given you some breathing room, and we'll see what EHOME can make of it. Unfortunately, it's DK who dies at the end there as well. Otherwise, it would have looked really good for them. But Faithian makes the clutch insta-blink away. He does react to the Axe Blink, who needed to get that call out of Invis so that Faithian couldn't react, but Liquid getting a little bit ahead of themselves.
Yes. There's, of course, now that 6-minute window where EHOME will have to be very wary. If these 3 heroes dying again could leave a massive opening, then back the way of Liquid for Liquid to look to shut down more of the base.
Things overall still look pretty grim for EHOME, but a fight like that, it wasn't a major gold swing by any means in their favor because of the buybacks, but just the experience alone makes a big difference. Helps, you know, Void got level 3 Chronosphere now, DK's close to his level 20. A lot of these talents and just making sure you have all your spells maxed out, it can make a big deal in these upcoming fights.
I'll look for some action again. Coming around these bounty rune spawns. Won't find anything down bottom as it is Liquid. Will let them have the space EHOME to grab these 2.
They were hoping for a pick off here. Courier gets sniped.
I was whose ulti orb was that? That would have been
probably CK's for his Manta.
Yes.
Yeah.
So yeah, Manta off the menu for 3 minutes.
So they got 2 towers following that fight as well. They got the tier 2 mid, now at tier 1 bottom. Suddenly Tiny has money for a BKB.
I'm seeing that GPM talent being hit as well by 987, so as long as this game can be drawn out a little bit, he'll start to bring in the big items.
I mean, for EHOME to win this game, it needs to go late. They're playing from behind. It's going to be a slow crawl to get back into this one, so definitely a game for GPM talents.
Pretty much, 30 minutes in, it has the entirety of this game where all 3 of Liquid's cores have been at the top.
Roche already respawning, a very quick one.
See what Boxy can grab here. Sneaking over, but EHOME being very cautious. Making sure not to give up any information or have anyone out of place themselves. They're eyeing up the mid. All ults on both sides ready to go. Still, Faded despite being behind a good chrono and a chance to catch out some of the squishier heroes.
Yep.
Could open up a potential team fight win for EHOME, but it's incredibly hard considering that they are all about an item behind counterparts. Ice Blast to scout out the Roche will scare Liquid off a little bit.
Got a Mjolnir now on Void for the next fight. Some of that uncontrollable damage can proc those static charges and just gives Void some nice attack speed as well for damage in his chrono. Boxy's going to be the key player though. If he can get a blink call, and he's actually been caught.
They see him.
Yeah.
They get the jump. They got the combo set up. The chain does. He'll put the blade mail. All torn down on the Void. VT Phase dead.
He didn't BKB.
He didn't.
Did he lag? What happened? My computer lagged, but how did he not BKB?
And he's not got buyback. He's dead for a minute. He got nothing now. The BKBs will be there from 897 and Faithian. They do get quite far. But the Dragon He's in trouble. Mickey turns, stuns him up. 897 has got no help. Dunked down. That's both cores dead on EHOME. I mean, he definitely had a chance there, Faded. He got ATOS. He got ATOS.
Yeah,
you can BKB there. Sure, he did get called afterwards, but there was definitely a chance.
Let's check the tape. You know, there might be a reason.
Oh, that's the wrong tape. At least it wasn't the wrong tape. But we'll watch the live action for now. Here we go. Because we have the ATOS. Yeah, just this.
Okay, here we go. Yep. ATOS comes. Oh, he's being taunted.
Okay.
No, he's being taunted.
Okay, he was taunted. Okay. We'll let him off. That was good play from Boxy.
Yep.
He couldn't have foresaw it. I mean,
he could have BKB before the taunt.
Because it was them committing on the axe.
Yeah. But to be fair, you don't want to just normally use your BKB because he'll still get taunted. It's just going to block the Skywrath damage there. They're hoping that they've just found like a pick-off, but in the end, you know, Void, DK both dying there. They get the Mickey kill on the Leshrac, so not all bad, but now they're playing into Aegis and Cheese.
Yeah. I mean, it's still, Faded has to be, he's got to be super careful this game.
Yes.
They know they're behind. You're committing on an axe that he popped Blade Mail, Boxy. I mean, you're a Void with your passive and Mione. Like, if you don't BKB yourself, you're going to take a lot of magical damage back.
You need to also just assume that Axe is going to have backup. So if you're going to get stunned, you want to be stunned with BKB on because otherwise Skywrath melts you.
You're just dead, yeah.
And this is a level 21 Skywrath. He bursts through people very quickly with that Veil Mystic Flare.
You shouldn't expect to see VT Faded sort of try and play the greedy game, hold on to those cooldowns now. He's going to be very ready to put that BKB. You know, if he gets sort of hit by a fly, just if anything's going to set him off, he's got to. The 11k down, it's 17 to 12. Liquid's pushing in again with that Aegis and Cheese, both on Mickey for now.
Yeah. Gotta be careful not to swing too far the other direction and pop it way too early, but
it's hard. It is very hard considering the situation they're in.
This is one of the biggest pressures as a carry player is you die once or twice because you hold on to your BKB and then you start thinking you got to use it too early. Where the experience really comes into play, and VT Faded, fairly new player on the competitive scene. Even though he was at TI, he didn't exactly have the best of runs there.
No, I'm sort of having flashbacks. I think he had a pretty questionable Void game at TI, I want to say.
Oh,
I have memories of watching a Void that was not having a great time, and I think it was poor old Faded. And for himself, this one maybe bringing back the memories for that. It's hard. It's a tough Void game.
Would seem content to just use this Aegis to control the map for now. They've got all their ultimates.
So, we'll go on Boxy, but a BKB means nothing more. But it's a BKB. It's something forced out by EHOME. BKB charge down. We're bringing Boxy down to the. That was his 10-second BKB. So that's the first step.
Mickey just got his BKB delivered. I think this was the main item that Liquid were waiting for. They're also very close to the Octarine core on Koikva's Leshrac, so a few big items about to come out, and Tiger, he's been caught.
May just be a support, but I mean, it's a very hard-hitting support, and every 5 versus 4 will mean that the rest of the 4 of Liquid are likely to sort of hold back for that pretty long duration that he's dead for, with being the high level that he was as that Sky with the XP talent.
For sure, they were hoping to push now, probably with the Aegis and BKB, and then they're going to be like, well, wait a second, we gotta chill. We gotta wait for this Skywrath. 60 seconds. That's 20% of the Aegis duration right there. Already, most of that Aegis duration has been used up just farming as well. So, some breathing room for EHOME, some hope for them. Still a 13k gold lead, but it's been there for a little while.
And Liquid may still try and look to make something happen without their Skywrath. They are still, of course, far ahead on the 4 heroes that they do have alive. I mean, if anything, they're probably, they still have the net worth advantage just with these 4 heroes in the game.
Yeah. Boxy knows, though, the Skywrath ulti is a big source of follow-up damage for his call. Faded. He's in.
He's going to go with that Chrono BKB.
That is a Chen.
Big commitment for the Chen. Now with the call and the CK. He's not going to get the chance to time warp back out.
Unfortunate.
That's the combo blown for just a Chen. He is dead. He does have buyback, but there's a little bit of what does it matter when you have no BKB, no Chrono for, of course, the 2-minute cooldown.
Yeah. think they saw Chen and knew that they could just kill him, take the gem, and maybe get out, and that could have stopped this push from happening, but not the case.
Machine Cube, Boxy gets the call off. Mystic Flare's down. They will be able to share the load there. 897 coming in to keep Faith Beyond safe. Underneath the tier 4s, though, Y will fall. Instant buyback from the AA. The Phantasms continuing to bring down Tiny. BKB having to be used there as well by 897 as the last bit of magic damage from Tiger flew through upon him. The mid lane racks cleaned up by Liquid. As Liquid with the 17k lead can look to just continue to go for more. Without the Void and the Chrono, there's not really much that they have to be that scared of. A bit of an attempt to poke a Boxy, but the Atos is down. 897's got to be careful. His BKB is on cooldown.
Void just doesn't want to buy back, doesn't have Chrono. He's like, what can I do, guys? But it's Megas. You got to fight. You can't afford to give up Megas here. 5 seconds till Void is back, but I think that's it. With Megas down, chance of a comeback is next to nothing here. Not a game VT Faded will want to remember at night when he's going to sleep.
No, and I'm gonna look it up. What was the team Faded was on at TI?
Chaos.
Chaos. Yes. Let's have a look.
Oh.
I want to see what is Void, because it was the game that they went out as well. I remember they went out off the back of a very tough game from him at bottom. Faded.
Speak of the man.
He has got
He's
the
out.
BKB. He'll live this time. This time he will survive.
Yeah, they did get eliminated in the group, so they didn't even make it to the best of ones.
Yes, no, I remember it was a group stage game. Was it this one? Game 3.
Oh, they didn't get Megas. There's a range Rex. What am I talking about? There's hope still for EHOME. One range Rex, all that stands between EHOME and elimination, perhaps. Tiny with the axe.
Chrono just get the 2 of them out.
DK stuck in it though. No!
He just got his DK kill. He just got his DK kill.
The full Mystic Flare damage.
Oh, it's looking pretty over. GG, well played indeed. It's called, and Liquid will take the series 2-0. Game 1 was a little bit of a challenge, but not that much. Game 2, I don't think it could have been easier. Liquid made that look so fluid and smooth from the lane straight to the end.
Yeah.
That was an easy game for Liquid. It was the definition of it.
It really was. At no point really was there much doubt, even though the kills was kind of evenish a lot of the game. Liquid just, it was smooth sailing. They made all the right moves. One or two like people getting picked off here or there, but they didn't have to play a flawless game. It was just about playing a good tactical game.
Yeah. And they move on. You know, Liquid questions been asked. Are they there? Are they not? This looked pretty good. Solid draft, solid ideas. They're moving on a step further down the low bracket. End of the road for EHOME. And it was a rough one. A rough way for the Chinese team to crash out.
Yeah. Really was tough. I mean, it's a team that I think struggled a bit in the group stage as well. They didn't look particularly amazing there, starting the lower bracket, losing to the Fighting Pandas 2-0 in that second series they played. So this is definitely a team that may need some work moving on the rest of the season.
Yeah, quite a lot of it. There we go, 2-0 for Liquid, as we'll pass it back to the panel.
Quite a lot of work left for EHOME as they are the first Chinese team eliminated from MDLX. Meanwhile, Liquid do manage to move on through the lower bracket. They may have tripped up against J-Storm, but they absolutely dominated that. 2-0 and a very clean one at that.
Looking good. Very relaxed after a game like that. It feels like a lot of the effort was kind of put in the first 10 minutes, and then they sort of coasted their way through after that, man. Like, very nice lead built up. I mean, how did we start this panel out? I think we discussed Boxy being the top or bottom, depending on how he does. This was a top Boxy game, and there's not many offlaners that take over a game like Boxy can when he plays that well. So I got to give him the credit because we also give him the flames when he doesn't.
Yep. Oh, totally. I think that, like, it started, like you said, in those first 10 minutes in the lanes. It was like 7,000 net worth lead or some crazy amount at like 50. I don't know how early
it was
on
5-4, like 15 minutes in, and they had a 7,000 gold lead.
It just they never got a chance to like come online, and then from there it continued to accelerate. That like early blink daggers into no kills. You know, it's not going to win you games. It was tough for EHOME, and that's the thing to me that's most interesting about it, is that their style changed up so much from what we saw in the group stage, and then also from what won them the best of one, and then they weren't able to do any of the same type of stuff here in this match.
It seems like to me EHOME's drafting little straightforward and almost archaic in the way that they have it set up, right? Like we said both games, it was like, this is just some classic Dota 2 drafting, and maybe that can be a good thing, but here it just seemed like it lacked the innovation to be able to take on a team like Liquid.
It covers a lot of boxes, and it like gives you a very nice spread, I would say, both these drafts. But both games, Liquid kind of threw that element of the draft, not so much in the second draft, but like the first draft, it was very clear we are focused on lanes, early game, a transition to take over and win this game, right? You have a position 1 Leshrac, right? Like, that's kind of your whole goal with a Broodmother in the mid lane. And then game 2, again, they just put a really heavy focus on the lanes. I think they saw that AA. They're like, all right, this Void doesn't really have, like, the best kill lane. Doesn't have a really good time. Let's just go axe Skywrath. Tons of pressure on this Void. And then the other lanes don't go well either. So suddenly you might have, like, your lineup could look good if you're even going into the mid game and even going late. But when you're down, it doesn't really matter how, like, pretty your composition is. No chance to play the dodos.
I kept on finding myself. Do you guys watch Febby's stream ever?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I love
Febby
the Febby
Duck.
stream.
Yeah,
Febby Duck.
Febby
here.
Ducks
So I
in the
kept
chat.
on like finding myself doing like the Febby face, where it's like, you know what I mean? Like throughout the game, it's like, you know,
That's an excellent impersonation.
You know what I'm talking
of
about,
a
though,
Febby
right?
face. Yeah, you're
It's
not
like,
wrong.
It just didn't look pretty. But I think that like again, you talk about that like classic draft is Zhao Wei drafting, you know. Something that we talked about earlier was the need to like either go all in one direction of like super early game or go all in onto the later stage of it. And it felt like in this game, if it was going to go late, they were just going to win. And that's what happened. And then they also came out ahead in the lanes. I don't know. What do you do?
We like started that off saying like, hey, Faith Beyond needs to have a good game, but it felt like, especially he was matched up into a Chaos Knight, right? That was naturally going to be a little bit harder. You've got no armor with the Chen. He's going to have a good game. He's also a hero you can't really target too well as a Tiny. You're not going to shut down a Chaos Knight because most of the time he's just too tanky.
Yeah.
So it felt like he really couldn't get that ball rolling for you.
They also just let him have Chen 2 games in a row, like you're talking about.
Yeah.
Hey, well, they hadn't picked it, right? Isn't that what you were saying? So this was like a. There you go.
Well,
saw
or
it
the
last
first game,
though.
maybe. Like, oh, hey, they're playing Taiga Chen. What's the excuse for game 2, though?
They played Insania Chen. There.
That's true. That's true. They got it big time.
The huge mix-up in game 2, but to throw him off. Who could have seen the position 5 Chen coming?
Maybe EHOME's idea is just, again, just a little bit too far behind the rest of the meta.
Yeah.
And thus they leave us.
And thus they leave us.
Better to get knocked out in the hotel than the main stage as the Chinese team.
Oh.
No disappointing fans nearby.
I think there's some of
I'm
them
pretty
that
sure
watch,
they're still
though.
getting hate on Weibo and stuff.
No. No. Fans
too
are
bad.
nice. They never flame their teams.
No.
Come on, guys. Positive. Positive reinforcement.
That's right.
Lots of teams left to cheer for.
I saw a new name for the EHOME fans in the chat as well, as the E-homies.
The
You know what I mean? Just be
E-homies.
homies out there. Be cool homies. Don't be mean.
E-homies.
Well, the
That's right.
E-homies are going to be definitely pouring one out tonight after that performance. But Liquid, I mean, they look. You thought about it. BTS like,
That's a nice new rug. man. I don't
lyrical
know.
over here with his shoes on the couch, pouring tea all over the ground.
It's more comfy this way. It's nice.
Liquid, do you guys have faith in them? They can make a long lower bracket run. I mean,
Can I ask for a bracket? Is
Oh,
that
yeah.
possible? Can we see their path? That would be fun.
well, that is possible.
I
with our
love production
BTS
here.
production always on point.
They're the only production crew that I feel comfortable just asking for
Aw,
random
yeah,
things
just
from.
on the fly.
Yeah, because I know they got it.
So they're moving on. So Alliance versus Aster.
Are you telling me? Are you telling me there's a chance at the MDL lower bracket we get
Wow.
Liquid versus Alliance?
Oh, that's.
I think there's a very good
Man,
chance.
the
of
people
that.
who see these brackets are geniuses. Like, this all started in the groups. They're like, now if they win here, they just got like all the like strings going from piece
It's
to piece.
always sunny in Philadelphia.
Yeah, yeah,
anyway. It's
yeah.
just he's got strings on strings on strings.
Mally's just there. I must maximize the viewers.
Now, to quote the coach, it's looking spicy. That's what we're going to be seeing here.
Yeah.
Man.
All
I'm
right,
ready.
well, we'll have to see whether or not we hear from Liquid's coach, as we do have a winner's interview.
那当时这个对面一直没有办掉这个英雄，对于这一点你们是怎么看的？
So first, congratulations. And then we want to ask you something about Chen. You picked Chen for the last 2 games and you all win. What do you think about this hero?
I think the hero is very fun to play and very, how to say it, is very broken. I see all the other teams picking it whenever it's open, so I was like, yeah, well, this hero is fucking easy to play. Just give me this hero. I haven't played it for a long time, but I fucking know how to play this. So easy. And that, so I played it, and it worked out well. And the next game, Insane wanted to do the same thing, and then he played it, and it also worked out well. So, but he's a better Chen player.
哦，他就是说，他觉得陈这个英雄非常的鹰爸爸在这个版本现在的这个版本里面，觉得选出来就能赢。然后他觉得他们的队友，就他觉得陈这英雄很好玩，然后他就是真 TMD 好玩。然后他完了之后，那个他的队友 Insania 也想玩，然后他就说好吧，那你来玩一盘吧。然后他觉得 Insania 的陈比他玩得更好，我觉得可能是因为 Insania 是队长。
好的，那么还有一个问题是关于蜘蛛这个英雄啊，就是蜘蛛这个英雄，当时你们在 BP 当中拿出来，是提前做好了一个准备吗？还是根据对方阵容临时做出这样一个决定？
So the first game you picked Brew Mother about the hero. Is that the hero like you prepare before, or you just think, oh, this is a good game for Brew Mother? It's like all to win, then you just pick it.
I mean, we have a very famous Broodmother player who has a crush on spiders. His name is Koikwa, and whenever he sees there's a good Brood game, he's gonna be like, "Yo, give me Broodmother. I really like it here. It's gonna be a very amazing game."
他就说我们的队伍里面有一个非常热爱蜘蛛的人，就是生活中的那个蜘蛛。然后，所以在比赛的时候看到这盘游戏很适合把蜘蛛选出来，然后他就会说：“嘿，这盘游戏就给我选蜘蛛吧。”他一定会是就选出来，我带你们躺。所以他们就选了蜘蛛，不是说提前准备好的样子。
好的，那么也是再次恭喜Liquid战队取得了这场比赛的胜利，同时感谢你接受我们的采访，希望接下来的比赛能够继续保持这样的一个状态，谢谢。
Thank you, thank you.
Thank you very much.
好，接下来的话呢，让我们来期待下一场比赛的开始，以后见。
Well, in the words of Faith Beyond, Broodmother is too easy, but in the words of Taiga, it's Chen. That's too fucking easy, apparently.
Yeah, man. Not
said.
mincing words.
No.
It's really good. Ban the hero. Don't let it through.
It's funny because it's kind of exactly how we're just like, man, isn't Chen like really good? And they're like, yeah, we're watching these other teams and then like playing Chen and it like looks really good. So I'm like, let's play Chen. And then it's like really easy. Like, it sounds like how a Redler would like, that's how you like write it out, like the storyline goes, and here it is.
And it kind of links back to what we were saying about EHOME just being a little bit behind in the meta when it comes to drafting. I mean, they thought it was the Broodmother. That was the problem. No. It was the Chen.
It was.
Liquid was behind too, obviously, but they corrected themselves.
But that's a smart thing to like. You can understand the mentality of a captain in that draft too. It's like, don't worry about it. The Broodmother was the reason. That's why we lost that last game. You know what I mean? And then they let the Chen through, and it's like, well, no, actually, it really was that other hero that was a problem. It's like you can totally understand a captain going through that mindset.
Well, Zhao Hayden. Why are definitely going to be feeling a little silly after seeing that post-game interview. They're like, ooh, we had the wrong read on that one.
Yeah. Dang.
Get on the next one, guys. Oh, well, so they're gone. Liquid move on. What is the next one? I guess it's
Aster versus Alliance,
right? It decides who's going to be playing up against Liquid. And, man, they're so good. Production are always on, man. This was the matchup I was actually the most excited for at the start of the day because Alliance are hype, but Aster is also pretty exciting. I feel like, again, it's China, so I always like seeing these matchups of like the team from like the home hosting region because there's that little bit of extra pressure and it's extra hype if they win because you want to get to the main stage. Like you might be out before the stadium.
Yeah.
Big game.
Definitely an important one coming up. And so with that, we are going to take a quick break before we see the Chinese experts versus the European expats.